Rivers State to make regulation. That clause in the emergency proclamation, has been amended, and adjusted by both the House of Rep and the Senate. I got, information from a reliable source that what was resolved and what was passed on the floor of the House of Representatives was that the sole administrator will not be supervised by the National Assembly, as expressly provided for in Section 11 of the 1999 Constitution.
Well, we don't have the House of Assembly.
I was wondering whether the president got the right, legal
advice. To this time, we are meant to understand that Federal Executive Council will be doing that.
That's what we are saying. Federal Executive Council, is the president and Wike, so it was to giving Wike back the structure and the governance of Rivers State through the back door. But it was a double aberration, because the president standing on Section 305 of the Constitution made an aberration to suspend democratically elected institutions, instead of declaring an emergency on the situation and tackle that situation as a matter of urgency. That is what can be implied, can be interpreted in Section 305. And another blunder that the president committed was to now give a sole administrator the powers that he doesn't have. He was not elected by the people of Rivers State to make regulations. Make regulations under what? Under the 1999 Constitution that empower the National Assembly, that whenever the State House of Assembly is unable to perform its constitutional duties, that it is the National Assembly that will perform the functions of that State House of Assembly. As if the president was not giving legal advice when we have an eminent lawyer as an attorney general. As if they forgot the primary and basic provisions of the Constitution in Section 11(4) of the 1999 Constitution. And even if you read Section 11(4) of the 1999 Constitution, there is a proviso that supersedes whatever that has been provided in all the sections, that said that there is nothing in that section that empowers the National Assembly to sack the governor or any of the legislative houses. In other words, why you are making law for the State House of Assembly, because the State House of Assembly is not able to perform its functions as the Constitution has provided. Where any State House Assembly is not able to perform its constitutional functions, the Constitution in Section 11(4) empowers the National Assembly to make laws for that State House of Assembly, for that state, for the governance of that state, for the good governance of that state, for the good of that state, so that the institution of government and the operation of government will not be static. That is what the Constitution said. And the Constitution further now made a proviso that even as the National Assembly is now performing the functions of the State House of Assembly in accordance with Section 11, subsection 4 of the Constitution, in that subsection 4, there's a proviso that the National Assembly shouldn't now see itself as having the power or arrogating the power that it doesn't have on itself to now make a law or any purported regulation to now say that you are removing governor. It's there in the Constitution. So I was very, perplexed that the president was not properly advised, by the Attorney General, who should know better, who should know the primary sections of the Constitution.
So the National Assembly has corrected that now.
That was a job. Yes, the National Assembly, I learned. It has not been read officially. They have not published it into an official gazette of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what was resolved, by the two chambers of the National Assembly. But from reliable information I got, that they have, amended that section, that aspect of the proclamation that the president made. That was what made it double illegality. You are acting on illegality on Section 305. You perpetrated another illegality, ignoring Section 11, subsection 4, to now give a sole administrator that was never elected by the people of Rivers State the power to make regulation. What a war on democracy! A president that fought for the emergence of this democracy.
Those are because we are trying to move forward. There are a lot of things have been overtaken by events. If we must say the majority or the National Assembly has given the backing to the president, it means that the suspension may probably stand for the next 6 months. Moving forward, in a bid to addressing all of this, because there are some people that are having some fears that this may also be like a political send forth for Governor Fubara. What is the faith that peace will be restored, or after 6 months, normality will be returned back to Rivers State?
Even the constitution, the same section 305 that the president relied on, said also made provision for the president to rescind his proclamation. But it's not necessary that the 6 months must be spent. He said until,
yes. And even the House of Assembly, House of Reps have also understood.
The House of Reps also adjusted it to let the president know that it's not compulsory that this 6 months must be spent. So if the parties resolve the issue that you have declared emergency on,
do you feel that matters can be resolved the way it is today?
Of course,
and what would be your concern for both parties?
The National Assembly also resolved that there should be engagement. There should be a joint committee of both the Senate and the House of Representatives, to engage the warring factions, to see how they will reach peaceful, and amicable resolution of their differences. So we will be hoping that the joint committee of the Senate and the House of Representatives will do an unbiased, mediation, into the matter. But as to whether or not the constitutional aberration that was perpetrated by the president, should stand, the president should, as quickly as possible, should also rely on that section 305 that empowers the president, to make the proclamation for state of emergency for 6 months at first instance, or as soon as the president withdraws the proclamation. So he should humbly, withdraw the proclamation, because he has now seen the outrage, the condemnation, that followed, the unconstitutional proclamation. You must at all times act within the ambits of the Constitution. This is a president that was sworn in. And the Constitution in Section 5 is very clear that the president shall defend the Constitution of Nigeria and other laws made by the National Assembly. The president is the chief defender, is the chief implementer, of the 1999 Constitution. But most times it baffles some of us, in the civil society, seeing people that should know better, acting as if they have not read, the basic provisions of the law, and they rather, rely on illegality.
Let me take it to what really the opposition has gathering again. Atiku Abubakar, Nasir Rufai, they were speaking on the matters in Rivers. But away from that, people are saying that to be a political collision. Do you feel that the coming together of all of these opposition is a way forward for 2027?
Opposition of Atiku and Rufai. It's an ill-fated opposition now. It's a biased opposition. It's an opposition of my stomach, of what I want. It's an opposition of the quest to grab power. What's Rufai's problem? The same Rufai that traveled with the president at Chatham House, that were answering questions that the president couldn't answer, simple questions that were thrown to him at Chatham House. Because they didn't give him SGF, and he was nominated for minister and was rejected, that is his grues. Because he's not part of the administration. That is why he's criticizing the government. It's about what is my stake.
If you're coming together, it's not about Nigeria. It's not about
It's about their stomach and about their quest to grab power. The same article that should have given Peter Obi a chance in 2023. The same article, was he patriotic enough to contest 2023 election? Even if Buhari was of APC extraction. But Buhari is from northern Nigeria. He's completing 8 years. And you want to take over from him. Was he patriotic? And what was he thinking about the entire other parts of the country? How do you want them to believe in the entity called Nigeria, that we are one? So Atiku has ill motive. His ambition. You
are dismissing this coalition.
This is an opposition that is dead on arrival. This is an opposition of people who are very greedy to.
But are the opposition engaging the government of the day constructively?
They have just started now. Atiku has not been speaking. He doesn't know how to do opposition. Was it how Tinubu did his own opposition? And where was Atiku when
people say Tinubu understand again better?
Where was Atiku since 2 years ago we are suffering from the removal of fuel subsidy? All the time we protested, but under Tinubu as an opposition leader, he will sponsor those protests. He will that protest will prevail until the government, is forced to withdraw from its, ill-fated decision. I think he doesn't know how to do opposition. So what I'm saying is that this is not a genuine opposition. This is an opposition of an aggrieved El-Rufai. The same El-Rufai that called Peter Obi an Hollywood actor. That how many votes will he get from the north? Yes, he's pulling very well in Clinton enclaves in northern Nigeria. Is that a man that is patriotic? Is that a Nigerian is that a man that believes in one Nigeria? He's just doing opposition because he was denied secretary to the government of the federation, and he's been. He said
he has been a minister. He said he has been a minister before now. No, so because Senate, not interested.
Because Senate rejected him, he should be ashamed of himself. Senate rejected him. If Senate had not rejected him, he should be a serving minister now. He should be singing Tinubu's praises. So El-Rufai's opposition is a opposition of an aggrieved political bigot. I don't like his style of politics. This is the man that does not even believe in justice for the people of Kaduna State that he governed. A man that does not believe that the people of Southern Kaduna should have ordinary deputy governor, or maybe that the Christian minority in Kaduna State should have deputy governor.
All right. Kingdom Okere is the convener, Lawyers in Defense of Democracy. Thanks so much for joining us tonight and giving us insight on that development. We'll continue to track some of the happenings, developments. Many people are speaking, but this time the National Assembly has backed the president, but has withdrawn some stands concerning the demands of the president towards the sole administrator of Rivers State, making some contribution and amendment within all of that. We'll continue to track and, of course, bring you to speed about the responses, reaction. But just to inform you that the sole administrator has hit the ground running right in Rivers State. He was receiving the government house earlier today, just on his arrival. The press were there, and of course, he had also have to give a body language of a democratic government in the Rivers State. But whatever it means is that it is a temporary move. It's just a move that can be reconsidered, just has been made by the National Assembly, that if the both parties come together to have an understanding that the matter can be shelved and normalcy return to Rivers State. That is the wishes and what we are watching right there from Rivers State. But tonight, let's now turn attention to a very critical issues. The petroleum sector, it looks that there are development going, but some steps backward. Dangote Refinery are still having a concern on some gray areas. And we'll be having an analyst who will be joining us to discuss all of this development just after this break. Please stay with us. A critical sector like that of petroleum is so much of importance to many Nigerians, but overlooking at some major critical situations coming from that area. The other time we were looking at crude to Naira and the issues the NNPC were having with Dangote. But what really matters to Nigerians is the fact that if we have some level of, the landing costs of the products dropping from these Dangote refineries, at the end of the day, some Nigerians feels it is not reflective over what they are also purchasing at that level. But Emmanuel Abisoye is a public affairs analyst joining us from Lagos tonight to, of course, add voice to this conversation many Nigerians are paying attention to. Thanks so much, Mr. Abisoye, for joining us. Very quickly, you've made some work. The other time someone said Dangote refinery, Dangote fuel lasts longer than that of NNPC, but NNPC were able to slam that and back and forth. What is a major interest to Nigerians is the cost of the petroleum. We've seen the prices drop from 980 to 900 and thereabout. It doesn't look like there's a possibility that we may have this better off. And do you feel that NNPC on their end are doing exceptionally well?
Thank you for having me in your program. I feel that when we were expecting this refinery, which is the biggest in Africa, we are expecting that at this time, by the time this refinery comes to stay, we will be having it as getting fuel at the rate of 200 per liter. That is what the federal government and other people promise us. So we now find out that immediately this refinery come to stay, we are still experiencing a fuel of 850 thereabout. You find out that the cost of this whole issue, I will put it on the NNPC, because I don't see why NNPC will sign a contract as big as that for just 6 months, and at the same time they are telling us that these same people that came out to say, okay, this product will be sold in a naira. Now they are not telling us that they are turning it the other way around, that the product should be sold in dollar. Okay, now if Dangote have to travel down to the western world to get this crude oil in a dollar and bring it back to Nigeria, do you think Dangote will sell less than 1,000 plus? There's no way we sell that price. He will not sell it at the rate of 800. So you find out that the major problem what we are facing in this country is the NNPC is trying to monopolize all this whole thing. So that's what I see for now.
Let's look at those persons that said encouraging some local refineries in the country. Probably we've seen it more refineries. We've also seen NNPC making some announcement the other time about the kickoff of a particular refinery and that of Warri refinery, even when some Nigerians are saying, is this thing getting to work? How can the concern of this move by NNPC and the threat of encouraging other local refineries in Nigeria?
In as far the Nigeria is concerned, if Dangote could go out of his way, traveling out of this country to get a crude oil, there's no local producer can survive it. On that process, Dangote automatically, the NNPC has automatically monopolized it, because no local producer can go to any other country to get this fuel and bring it back to Nigeria and sell it less than 1,000 plus. That is just the truth. So NNPC is not helping the situation of this country. They are not helping the situation. So they are moving us to the place that at the end of it, every plane will still go back to Dangote. That is just the truth. Because you don't expect it to get fuel from the foreign land and bring it to Nigeria, and at the end of it, you are expected to sell it at the rate of 754 or 655. But I prefer if Dangote can trade it on a local currency, getting it at the rate of naira to Dangote, I believe with time Dangote will also slice down the price. I think we should be expecting less than 500 per liter. That's the only way forward.
All right. Have you followed on what is happening in Rivers State? There was an issue of explosion rocking some pipelines in Rivers State. These are the part of the consideration of the president to have declared the state of emergency in that state. Do you feel that move, declaring state of emergency, halted that attempts of those persons that were just setting some fire and explosions within that region?
You see, the biggest mistake the president made by Excellency is declaring a state of emergency. What is happening in the Delta State is compared to what is happening in other northern states is just a minor. The Oyo region state is a state that controls Nigeria entirely as a nation. They know what is going on there. It's a brother to brother issue. It's something that the president should have called them and called the traditional ruler and let's settle this amicably rather than doing power tussle, try to bring some people down and try to lift some people up. No, things don't go that way. It should have bring them together and settle this thing amicably. They are brothers. If they are not brothers, we get to do that. Appointed Mubara as a governor to that state. So they are brothers. They are still brothers. So it's something that the president as a father should call them and settle this thing the way that nobody should even know what is going on. So the essence of the fuel, the fuel explosion, the refinery explosion, or whatever you call it, is a normal thing. Anything can explode anytime.
So you feel that wasn't political? So you feel that wasn't a political action?
No. It's not a particular issue. Those one is just, it's like what do you call it? It's like a chess. Try to turn things around to say, okay, this is the reason why this is coming up. This is the reason why this is coming up. No, that is not the issue. And I must tell you the truth. Until we allow those foreign investors to leave Nigeria, we will not get it right. The problem is not Wike, it's not Mubara, it's not the president. The problem is the shell and Chevron. Sorry to say it. Those are the problems we are facing. They are the people manipulating this stuff. They knew, I knew, when Mubara said all oil refineries should be shut down in the river area, I know he has stepped on the toes of the high and mighty, the ones that control the power of this country. So he will not go away with it easily. So we have to put an end to all these political issues.
All right. I mean, I just get to reflect back. I mean, this is already March, April, May. 2 months from now will make it exactly 2 years of this government. That those are really having a concern about how Nigerians have been able to survive post-subsidy removal. The issues of fuel. Government, on the other hand, have made some introduction like that of CNG just to cushion the effect of the hardship. And even when that has not really, I mean, go to some more centers, so as for all of these things to work, some person said we may not be able to completely get to rely on that. What is your appraisal of how government have managed the post-subsidy era? Have they properly managed it so well? The intention of the president to remove subsidy was, to serve the future of the country, which he has stated clearly, economic soul of Nigeria, which was at the danger. He said I needed to take that bold decision and that steps to remove subsidy. But 2 years of his government are after, how far and how well?
The issue of removing of subsidy, they have removed it in the outside and they ask us as a citizen to keep paying the subsidy. We are the one paying the subsidy. The government is not paying the subsidy. What are the provision of grants when you want to remove subsidy from any organization? Maybe you have like some other country that subsidize food and other things. They make a provision for it. When you go to the Western world, government take up the agricultural sector and other things. They subsidize for it. What has the government done to say, okay, this is what we are working on? By so time, we are taking off this subsidy. There was no plan for it. Immediately the governor, the president stepped into power. The first thing is taking off the subsidy. Okay, taking off the subsidy is not even the issue. What about the labor chairman, the union? What did they say concerning that? Nothing has been done. Since then, Nigeria will be suffering. They keep telling us we are making a provision, we are making a provision. 2 years has gone. There's nothing. So the government don't have anything for us as a citizen to say, okay, this is what we are backing on. All the palliative and the rest, they said they are working on. Where are they? Nothing is happening. the cost of living is high. So we are not benefiting from the subsidy. Rather, we are the one paying the subsidy.
All right, thanks so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for joining us very quickly on the show. We'll continue to monitor that development coming right there. Emmanuel Bisoye is a public affairs analyst and a content creator. Thanks so much for joining us all the way from Lagos tonight on the program.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, the politics just getting started. Politics of 2027 is just getting started. The collation and the coming together of opposition to form a stronger voices against the government of the day has gathered a lot of momentum. That those that are really having some concerns about that gathering, if this time opposition come together, is that a miscalculation on their own end or an attempt, a good attempt to unseat the president for 2027? The ruling party are also sleeping. They are also up on the game and seeing how they can continue to retain the power. Some members, even from the National Assembly, are defecting to APC with a lot of fast developments. But what really matters are to how the government can continue to give dividends of democracy before the 2027. But the interactions and conversation would not cease. Politicians will always be politicians, moving from this other party, cross-carpeting to the other, just to be able to protect their own interests. But what are the interests of Nigerians? This is a question and many Nigerians will continue to ask as we continue to move in the surgeon of our democracy. Everyone, these are sides we'll take tonight on the show Big Talk. My name is Edika Mike. Thanks so much. We'll continue to monitor all our political development and bring you those interesting conversations here on the show. Bye-bye for now.